Beloved chosen one, pause for a moment and let your breath settle. This message did not arrive by chance, and you are not hearing these words because an algorithm found you. Heaven leaned close because your kind heart sent a signal upward that could not be ignored. You have walked gently in a world that rewards force. You have chosen compassion in rooms where cruelty would have been easier. And though you questioned yourself, wondering if softness made you invisible, heaven never mistook your nature. Your kindness was never weakness. It was obedience wrapped in humility. You have felt it, haven't you, that quiet sense that you were different, that you could not harden even when life demanded armor. You tried, but your spirit refused to calcify. Instead, you carried empathy like a lantern through dark corridors, absorbing pain that was not yours, praying for people who never thanked you, forgiving when no apology arrived. There were moments you wondered if God had forgotten you, because it seemed the loud, the aggressive, and the self-serving advanced while you stayed behind. But heaven measures differently. God does not clap for noise. God responds to purity of heart. Your gentle yes reached places your voice never did. Every time you chose patience over retaliation, something shifted in the unseen. Every time you stayed honest when deception would have benefited you, heaven recorded it. You were being trained without knowing it. You were learning restraint, discernment, and spiritual authority through love. That is why darkness watched you closely. That is why resistance intensified when you refused to become bitter. Your kindness was a threat. Listen carefully now. This is not flattery. This is alignment. God is proud of you. Not proud in the way humans boast, but pleased in the way a creator recognizes his own nature reflected back to him. You mirrored heaven on earth. You carried God's character into hostile territory. And while people may have taken advantage of you, heaven never did. Heaven trusted you with a tender heart because you would not corrupt it. There were nights you replayed conversations, wondering if you should have spoken harsher words, drawn firmer boundaries sooner, or walked away faster. But even those moments were used. God saw your intentions, not just your outcomes. You were never naive. You were faithful. You believed love could redeem. Sometimes it did. Sometimes it didn't. But obedience was never wasted. What felt like delay was development. The world teaches survival through dominance. God teaches victory through surrender. That is why your path felt lonely. Few walk it. Kind hearts are rare because they cost something. They cost pride. They cost the satisfaction of revenge. They cost the illusion of control. But what they gain is heaven's attention. And when heaven notices, everything changes. Hear this truth settle deep within you. God was not embarrassed by your gentleness. God was not frustrated by your mercy. God did not say you were too soft for this world. He said you were trustworthy. He said you could be entrusted with influence later because you would not abuse it. That is why promotion was delayed. Power without purity destroys, and God was protecting you from becoming what hurt you. The weight you carried quietly was seen. The tears you wiped before anyone noticed were counted. The prayers you whispered when you had no strength left were heard clearly. You were never overlooked. You were being prepared out of sight. Just as roots grow deeper in silence, that your foundation was being strengthened where applause could not interfere. The ancient words still echo for you today. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 145, verse 18. The Lord is near to all who call on him, to all who call on him in truth. That nearness is not theoretical, it is intimate. God drew close to you because your heart was honest. You did not perform righteousness. You lived it when no one was watching. Now understand this spiritual truth. Kindness does not delay destiny. It accelerates it when the time is right. You are not behind. You are right on schedule. The season you are entering requires a heart like yours. A hardened heart could not survive where God is taking you. The next chapter demands discernment, compassion, and strength under control. That is why heaven is proud. You passed tests you did not even know you were taking. This is your moment to acknowledge it, not with arrogance, but with gratitude. Lift your head. Straighten your back. You are not foolish for loving deeply. You are chosen. And chosen ones are often misunderstood before they are revealed. The same heart that was mocked will soon be honored. The same compassion that was exploited will soon be protected by divine boundaries. If this message resonates in your spirit, take a moment now. Like this message, share it with someone who needs reassurance, and subscribe to remain connected to what heaven is releasing in this season. At the end of this moment, comment the number 77 as a sign that you received this affirmation and stand aligned with what God is doing in your life right now. Mary did not look powerful when heaven chose her. She was young, ordinary, living a quiet life when obedience arrived disguised as disruption. When the angel spoke, destiny entered her room without asking permission. And from that moment forward, her life would never again belong only to herself. Mary said yes before she understood the cost. And that is where the wait began. She carried a promise that made no sense to the people around her. A pregnancy without explanation. A calling without visible proof. Whispers followed her footsteps. Eyes lingered too long. Questions were asked that she could not answer without sounding insane. Obedience placed her in the center of misunderstanding. She was chosen, but being chosen did not protect her from suspicion. It exposed her to it. This is where your story quietly aligns with hers. Like Mary, you said yes to God in ways others could not see. You chose integrity when cutting corners would have made life easier. You chose faithfulness when walking away would have spared you pain. And suddenly, you found yourself misunderstood by the very people you hoped would support you. They did not see the angel. They did not hear the promise. They only saw the disruption. And so they judged. Mary carried heaven while being treated like a scandal. She bore glory while enduring isolation. There were days she had to wake up and continue walking forward without reassurance, without applause, without explanation. Obedience isolated her, and yet she did not retreat. She pondered these things in her heart, trusting that God would vindicate what people questioned. You know this weight well, the burden of doing the right thing when it costs you relationships. The loneliness of being faithful when others think you are foolish. The quiet exhaustion of carrying responsibility no one thanks you for. Like Mary, you learn that obedience often comes with silence. God speaks once, but the consequences echo daily. There is a particular pain that comes from being misunderstood while doing God's will. It makes you question yourself. It tempts you to explain, defend, or compromise just to feel accepted again. Mary could have tried to convince everyone. She could have argued, protested, or demanded understanding. Instead, she trusted that truth does not need noise. It needs time. Scripture records her response not as weakness, but as surrender. It is written in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 1, verse 38, "I am the Lord's servant. May your word to me be fulfilled." That sentence carried her through gossip, through fear, through uncertainty. It grounded her when nothing around her made sense. You have lived versions of that sentence. Every time you stayed when leaving would have been easier. Every time you obeyed, even though obedience cost comfort. Every time you trusted God's character more than people's opinions. You may not have said the words out loud, but your life echoed them. And like Mary, you discovered that obedience often feels heavier before it feels holy. What many do not realize is that Mary's strength was not loud, it was steady. She had to protect the promise inside her from the noise outside her. Not everyone deserved access to what God was growing in her, and not everyone deserves access to your heart either. Misunderstanding is often a sign that what you carry is sacred. Mary's journey reminds you that God does not always remove the burden immediately. Sometimes He strengthens the carrier instead. He allows the weight to shape you, deepen you, mature you. The pressure refined her faith. The delay built endurance. The silence trained her to listen inwardly instead of outwardly. And when the time came, when heaven decided the moment was right, God spoke again, through shepherds, through signs, through fulfillment. The same mouths that questioned her eventually fell silent before the truth. Vindication did not arrive through argument. It arrived through revelation. The same will be true for you. The misunderstanding you endure now is not permanent. The weight you carry will not crush you. It is forming you. Mary's obedience altered history, not because it was easy, but because it was costly. And your obedience, though unseen, is doing more than you realize. Heaven is not in a hurry, but it is precise. So when the weight feels heavy, remember Mary. Remember that God entrusts His greatest works to those who can carry them quietly. Remember that misunderstanding does not disqualify you. It confirms that you are walking a path few are willing to walk. And like her, you will one day look back and understand why obedience had to be this way. And even now, as you continue forward, there will be moments when the weight returns unexpectedly. Not because you are failing, but because you are carrying something meaningful. God allows these moments to remind you that strength is not loud endurance, but quiet faithfulness sustained day after day. One day, clarity will replace confusion. The purpose behind every misunderstood step will rise to the surface. Until then, you walk on, not because it is easy, but because obedience has already shaped you into someone who can carry both the promise and the process with grace. There is a reason darkness reacted to your kindness. Not everyone understands this, but you felt it long before you could explain it. The moment you chose to stay gentle in a hardened environment, something shifted. Your compassion disrupted systems built on fear. Your patience unsettled spirits that thrived on chaos. You were not loud, yet resistance found you anyway. That is because light does not need permission to expose darkness. It only needs to exist. You were never meant to fight the way others fight. You noticed early on that aggression drained you, but kindness strengthened you. When others escalated, you de-escalated. When others cursed, you stayed silent or spoke calmly. And people mistook that for weakness. But in the unseen realm, something else was happening. Darkness could not predict you. It could not bait you. It could not control you through anger. Your restraint was a shield. You may not realize this yet, but your kindness set boundaries that force could not. You walked away instead of retaliating. You forgave instead of poisoning yourself with resentment. You chose peace even when it cost you being right. Those choices blocked doors the enemy was trying to walk through. What felt like passivity was actually authority under control. That kind of authority terrifies darkness. There were moments you sensed spiritual pushback after doing good. You helped someone, and suddenly your own life felt heavier. You spoke truth gently, and relationships shifted. You prayed sincerely and opposition intensified. This is not coincidence. When kindness is genuine, it carries heaven's signature. And darkness recognizes that signature immediately. The world teaches that power looks like dominance, but heaven reveals a deeper truth. Real power is the ability to do harm and choose not to. Real authority is not reactive, it is rooted. You were rooted in love, and that made you unpredictable to systems built on manipulation. That is why people tried to harden you. That is why voices told you to stop caring so much. They sensed your kindness was changing the atmosphere. You did not just endure darkness, you disrupted it quietly. Scripture reveals this principle clearly. The ancient words recorded in the letter to the Romans, chapter 12, verse 21, still echo today. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. This is not poetic advice, it is spiritual strategy. Good does not merely survive evil, Martin, it disarms it. And you have been living this verse without even realizing it. Every time you chose kindness, you forced darkness to retreat or expose itself. That is why situations escalated when you stayed calm. That is why people projected their guilt onto you. Light makes hidden things uncomfortable. Your presence required others to confront what they avoided. Some rose to the challenge, others resisted you. But either way, you shifted the environment. You may have wondered why you attracted wounded people, broken people, or confrontational personalities. It is because your spirit carried safety and truth at the same time. Darkness is drawn to light either to be healed or to fight it. You experienced both. And still, you did not harden. That choice mattered more than you know. Kindness does not mean you lacked boundaries. It means your boundaries were spiritual, not emotional. You did not need to yell to be firm. You did not need revenge to be protected. God defended you in ways you did not see. Opportunities closed that would have corrupted you. Connections ended that would have drained you. Delays occurred that saved you from harm. All because you refused to let darkness rewrite your nature. This section of your journey is important. You are beginning to understand that your kindness was not accidental. It was assigned. You were placed in difficult spaces because your presence altered outcomes. You slowed cycles of harm. You interrupted generational pattern. You absorbed blows others could not. And heaven took note. Now, there is a response required, not loud, not dramatic, but intentional. If this resonates, comment this phrase below: I stay gentle. This is not a slogan, it is a declaration. By writing it, you are affirming that you will not let pressure reshape your nature, that you choose to remain aligned with who God formed you to be, even as the next season demands greater strength. Your kindness will look different moving forward. It will be wiser, protected, and paired with discernment, but it will not disappear. Darkness failed to steal it, and that alone tells you something powerful about who you are and what you carry. When you write, I stay gentle, you are not promising to remain weak or silent. You are declaring that your spirit will not be reshaped by bitterness, pressure, or disappointment. It means you choose clarity over chaos, restraint over reaction, and faith over fear, even when circumstances try to provoke you otherwise. Saying I stay gentle is also a boundary. It tells the unseen realm that your heart is not available for corruption. You are acknowledging that gentleness is your strength, not your flaw, and that you will protect it as you step into greater responsibility, influence, and spiritual authority. And spiritual, there comes a moment in your journey when heaven does something quietly radical. God stops correcting you and starts affirming you, not because you became perfect, but because you became aligned. This section is about that moment, the realization that God is not merely tolerating your obedience, but taking delight in it. God is proud of you. Imagine a craftsman stepping back from his work. He does not shout. He does not rush. He simply pauses, wipes his hands, and nods. That nod carries satisfaction, approval, completion of a phase. This is what God is doing with you now. You have been under the shaping hands for so long that you forgot there would be a moment of recognition. But heaven has been watching every choice, every restraint, every time you chose love when bitterness felt justified. God's pride is not loud applause. It is trust. It is responsibility. It is the quiet moment when He places something valuable in your hands and does not hover anxiously. Like a father handing car keys to a child who has proven maturity. God entrusts because He is confident in your character. You were faithful in unseen rooms, so now heaven is willing to place weight on you. You may not feel proud of yourself. That is often the sign of humility. But humility does not cancel God's affirmation. In fact, it attracts it. You learn to walk without constant reassurance. You learn to obey without needing immediate reward. That kind of obedience matures the soul. It turns raw faith into seasoned wisdom. Think of a lighthouse. It does not chase ships on, it does not scream into the storm. It stands steady and rooted, letting light speak for itself. That is what you became. While others burned out trying to prove themselves, you stayed lit. While others compromised to survive, you remained anchored. God noticed the steadiness. God noticed the consistency. God noticed the quiet courage. Scripture gives language to this moment. As Jesus Himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 21, "Well done, good and faithful servant." These words are not reserved for the end of life alone. They echo in seasons where faithfulness has been proven. God speaks them when He sees that your heart can be trusted beyond convenience. You may have expected fireworks, but instead you sensed peace. That peace is confirmation. God's pride does not inflate the ego. It settles the soul. It reassures you that you are no longer striving to be seen. You are already known. You are not chasing approval, so you are walking in alignment. Use this image: a tree that no longer bends at every gust of wind. Its roots are deep now. Storms still come, but they no longer decide its direction. That depth did not happen overnight. It took seasons of pressure, seasons of drought, seasons where growth was invisible. But now, the tree bears fruit without panic. That is you. And God is proud of the growth that cannot be faked. This pride also comes with refinement. God's approval does not mean the journey ends. It means the terrain changes. You are moving from survival to stewardship, from healing to building, from being carried to carrying others. That transition requires affirmation because fear would otherwise convince you to stay small. God's pride gives you permission to expand. As you listen to this, consider how many people walk this road alone, never realizing that God delights in faithfulness like yours. If this message brings clarity, share it. Someone else needs to hear that obedience is seen. If this resonates deeply, let it mark you like this message as an act of agreement. Share it as a quiet testimony and subscribe so you remain connected to what God continues to unfold. These actions are not about numbers, they are about alignment and community, like share, subscribe, share. You are not ahead of time. You are not behind. You are exactly where faithfulness places you, and heaven is pleased. Let this truth settle without resistance. You do not need to prove anything anymore. the season of striving is closing, and a steadier season is opening. God's pride in you becomes the quiet strength that allows you to move forward without rushing, without fear, and without needing constant validation. Carry this assurance gently. Do not weaponize it or rush to display it. Let it mature within you like a sealed letter, opened only when needed. When doubt returns, remember this moment. You are not merely tolerated by God. You are trusted, affirmed, and positioned for what comes next. As you step forward, allow confidence to replace hesitation. Not loud confidence, but settled certainty. You are no longer guessing whether your obedience mattered. It did. The ground beneath you is firm because it was built through faithfulness, and that foundation will carry you into unfamiliar territory without collapse. When challenges rise again, and they will, you will notice something different within yourself. You will not shrink as before. You will respond with calm strength. That is growth, that is evidence, and that is the quiet echo of heaven reminding you that you are prepared for what is ahead. There is a kind of obedience that never trends, never gets applauded, and never receives immediate confirmation. It is small, quiet, almost invisible, yet heaven responds to it with unusual precision. This section is about that kind of obedience, the one quiet yes that reshapes your life without announcing itself. One quiet yes does not look dramatic. It looks like choosing honesty when no one would know if you lied. It looks like turning off your phone to sit with your thoughts instead of numbing yourself. It looks like forgiving someone internally without reopening the conversation. It looks like walking away from an opportunity that excites your ego but troubles your spirit. These are not headline decisions, but they are destiny-defining ones. Obedience without applause is where character is formed. When no one is watching, motives surface. You discover whether you obey God for recognition or for alignment, and you, more than you realize, have already been practicing this. Many of your most powerful decisions were made in silence. You did not announce them. You did not defend them. You simply adjusted your steps and moved on. Here is a practical truth for daily life. Not every instruction from God comes with clarity. Sometimes it comes as discomfort, a subtle check in your spirit, a restlessness you cannot explain. Obedience in those moments means honoring the signal even when logic demands an explanation. It means trusting that God sees further than you do. One quiet yes might mean restructuring your morning so God is not squeezed into leftovers. It might mean ending conversations that slowly erode your peace. It might mean being consistent with a habit that builds discipline rather than chasing motivation. These choices feel small, but heaven measures trajectory, not volume. You live in a world that rewards visibility. God trains you in secrecy, because what is built in secret can sustain public pressure later. Obedience without applause strengthens your spine. It teaches you to stand without external validation. That is why this kind of obedience often feels lonely. But loneliness is not abandonment. It is insulation. Scripture anchors this principle clearly. The Apostle Paul wrote in the letter to the Hebrews, chapter 6, verse 10, God is not unjust. He will not forget your work and the love you have shown him. Notice what is emphasized. Not the recognition of people, not the outcome, but the quiet work and the unseen love. Heaven keeps perfect records. Here are some grounded practices you can begin now, without changing your entire life overnight. First, practice delayed response. Not every message needs an immediate reply. Not every opinion needs your voice. Silence, when intentional, is obedience. It protects your energy and sharpens discernment. Second, Create one non-negotiable act of faithfulness each day. Something small but consistent. Reading a few verses, writing one honest prayer, keeping one promise to yourself. Over time, this builds spiritual muscle. Third, audit your yeses. Ask yourself weekly which yes drained me and which yes aligned me. Begin reducing commitments that require you to betray your values. Obedience often begins with subtraction. Fourth, stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Explanation is not obedience. Peace is. You are allowed to be misunderstood while being aligned. Fifth, learn to celebrate obedience internally. You do not need affirmation to acknowledge growth. When you choose rightly, pause and recognize it. Gratitude reinforces obedience. This is how one quiet yes changes everything. It shifts your inner authority. It steadies your emotions. It simplifies your decisions, and over time, life becomes less reactive and more intentional. You stop chasing signs because your alignment becomes the sign. There will be moments when obedience costs you. Comfort, familiarity, approval. But it will never cost you your calling. Disobedience always charges more in the long run. Obedience may feel expensive up front, but it pays dividends in clarity, peace, and resilience. If this resonates, there is a response not loud, not performative, but intentional. Comment the number 8888 below. This number represents alignment, completion, and forward movement. By doing so, you are marking your commitment to quiet obedience, even when no one claps, even when no one notices. One quiet yes is not small in heaven. It is the language heaven understands best. The number 888 represents alignment with divine order and forward momentum. It speaks of cycles completing without collapse and progress made without force. When you choose quiet obedience, this number reflects heaven acknowledging that your steps are synchronized with timing you cannot yet see. 888 also symbolizes balance restored. Not excess, not lack, but steadiness. It is the mark of obedience that does not rush outcomes yet refuses stagnation. By responding with this number, you are affirming that your life is moving in rhythm, not driven by pressure or comparison. Finally, 8888 points to continuity. What you begin in silence will not end in confusion. God multiplies what is surrendered faithfully. This number declares that quiet obedience creates sustainable growth that does not burn out, collapse, or require constant rescue. The number 8888 is a reminder that obedience aligns you with God's timing. It signals forward motion without struggle, progress without striving, and assurance that what unfolds next is supported, ordered, and sustained by heaven. There is a crown reserved for a kind of strength the world rarely celebrates. It is not forged through domination or sharpened by control. It is shaped through restraint, humility, and a willingness to carry weight without becoming hard. This is the crown prepared for the gentle, and you are beginning to understand why your nature mattered so much. Gentleness is not the absence of power. It is power that has learned discipline. You discovered this slowly, often through pain. You learned that reacting quickly felt powerful for a moment but cost you peace afterward. You learned that silence, when chosen wisely, could protect more than words ever could. Over time, you realized that gentleness was not what made life harder, it was what kept you intact. The world confuses gentleness with fragility. Heaven knows better. Heaven entrusts authority to those who will not abuse it. That is why your journey required patience. God was not delaying you, He was refining you. Every situation that tempted you to become harsh was an invitation to grow deeper roots. Every moment you chose calm over chaos strengthened your capacity to carry more. You may not have noticed it happening, but something shifted inside you. Your reactions slowed, your discernment sharpened. You stopped needing to win arguments to feel secure. You began to value peace more than proving a point. That shift is the mark of maturity, and it is also the qualification for greater responsibility. Think of a river. When it is shallow, it is loud and chaotic. When it is deep, it moves quietly but with unstoppable force. That is what you became. Depth replaced noise. Stillness replaced urgency. And with that depth came authority that does not need announcement. Scripture speaks directly to this truth. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 5, "Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth." Meekness is not weakness. It is strength under control. It is the ability to stand firm without becoming rigid. It is the capacity to influence without overpowering. The crown reserved for the gentle is not symbolic. It is functional. It represents trust, influence, stewardship. God gives weight to those who will not use it to crush others. You learned how to hold space for people without carrying what was never yours. You learned when to engage and when to step back. These lessons were not optional, they were preparation. There were seasons when you wished you could be different, more assertive, more aggressive, more like those who seem to advance faster. But heaven was protecting you from shortcuts that lead to collapse. What you are being given now must be sustained, not just obtained. Gentleness ensures longevity. You are entering a phase where your presence alone will shift rooms, not because you demand attention, but because you bring stability. People will feel safer around you. Decisions will become clearer in your presence. Conflicts will de-escalate without you forcing resolution. This is authority that flows, not pushes. Understand this clearly: the crown you carry does not sit on your head for display. It rests on your character. It shows up in how you respond to pressure, how you treat those who disagree with you, how you hold influence without letting it redefine you. This crown cannot be taken because it was never external. You may notice that your tolerance for chaos has decreased. This is not avoidance, it is discernment. You no longer entertain what drains you. You no longer stay in environments that require you to betray your values to belong. That clarity is part of the crown. It allows you to choose alignment over approval. Gentleness also sharpened your courage. You learned that it takes more strength to remain kind than to become cruel. You learned that forgiveness is not forgetting, but releasing control. You learned that boundaries do not require hostility. These lessons transformed you into someone heaven can position strategically. The crown reserved for the gentle also comes with responsibility. You will be asked to lead without dominating, to guide without controlling, to influence without manipulating. And you will succeed because your strength does not depend on fear. It flows from confidence rooted in identity. You are not becoming someone new. You are becoming more yourself. The gentleness you once tried to suppress is now the very thing qualifying you for what comes next. Heaven does not need you to be louder. It needs you to be truer. This is not the end of your refining. It is the beginning of your revealing. And the crown you wear fits because it was formed through every quiet choice, every restrained response, every moment you chose love when bitterness was available. As this crown settles, you will notice a new steadiness in how you move through life. Urgency no longer drives you. Fear no longer dictates your choices. You act from clarity, not pressure, trusting that what is meant for you will align without force or compromise. Others may not recognize this shift immediately, and that is fine. Crowns formed by character are rarely obvious at first glance. But over time, your consistency will speak louder than any announcement, and your quiet authority will create lasting impact wherever you are placed. There is a moment when walking quietly is no longer enough, not because humility failed, but because completion has arrived. This is that moment. You are not being pushed forward. You are being invited to rise. Everything you carried, endured, restrained, and refined has brought you here to the threshold of reward. Not reward as applause, but reward as alignment. You are stepping into a life that finally matches the depth of your spirit. For a long time, you lived like a seed underground. You learned patience in darkness. You learned trust without proof. You learned how to grow roots before reaching for light. And now, something within you recognizes the shift. The soil no longer feels heavy. The pressure no longer feels confusing. You sense space above you, air, possibility. This is not ambition waking up. This is inheritance activating. Stepping fully into your reward does not mean abandoning gentleness. It means carrying it openly. It means no longer shrinking to make others comfortable. You are not becoming louder. You are becoming visible. The difference matters. Visibility used to feel unsafe because it attracted misunderstanding. But now, visibility becomes testimony. Your life begins to answer questions you no longer need to explain. You may notice that old fears try to resurface at this threshold. Fear of being seen, fear of being responsible for more, fear of disappointing God after being trusted. But hear this clearly: God does not reward accidentally. He rewards intentionally. What you are stepping into has already accounted for your humanity. Grace is not withdrawn at promotion, it increases. This reward looks like peace that does not depend on circumstances. It looks like clarity in decisions that once confused you. It looks like relationships that meet you where you are, not where you used to be. It looks like purpose integrated into daily life, not reserved for rare moments. Your reward is not escape from life. It is fullness within it. Scripture anchors this promise. According to what is revealed in the book of Psalms, chapter 126, verse 5, those who sow in tears shall reap with shouts of joy. Notice the order. Sowing came first. Tears were part of the process, not a sign of failure. And reaping does not whisper. It arrives with expression, relief, and release. You are allowed to enjoy what God gives you. You are allowed to rest without guilt. You are allowed to receive without suspicion. Reward is not indulgence, it is restoration. God is not paying you back. He is restoring what obedience cost you prematurely. Time, energy, innocence, joy. These things return differently, but they return genuinely. As you move forward, imagine yourself standing at the edge of a wide field at dawn. The work behind you is done. The field ahead is open. You are not commanded to run. You are invited to walk in at your own pace, with confidence. Every step forward is agreement with what God has already decided about you. And now, this message does something gentle. It opens a door and steps aside. If these words felt like water after a long walk, you may choose to linger. If they felt like a mirror, you may choose to acknowledge it. If they felt like a companion on the road, you may choose to keep walking together. If you wish, you can place a quiet stone along the path by liking this message, an unspoken sign that something here resonated. You might share it the way one passes bread, not because you must, but because someone else is hungry. And if you feel drawn to return to this path again, you may subscribe, not as obligation, but as choosing to travel with a familiar voice. You may also leave a comment not as noise, but as a footprint sharing what this journey stirred in you. These gestures are not requests. They are open hands. Take them if they feel right. Leave them if silence suits you better. Both are honored. What matters most is this: you step forward now without apology. You receive what God gives you without shrinking. You walk into your reward not as someone who arrived late, but as someone who arrived prepared. The seed has become the tree. The quiet yes has become a living witness. And the journey continues lighter, clearer, and filled with purpose. Let this ending breathe rather than close. You are not dismissed back into life unchanged. Something has shifted inside your posture, your pace, your trust. Carry that shift gently today, letting it inform choices, conversations, and rest, without pressure to perform or explain anything now. Remember that growth often feels anticlimactic. There is no drumroll, only steadiness. You will recognize progress by calm responses, clearer boundaries, and quieter joy. These are signs of health, not boredom, and they signal that transformation has taken root deeply within you over time. Guard what has been given without gripping it tightly. Trust grows when you allow life to unfold naturally. Keep listening, keep choosing alignment, and keep honoring your limits. Consistency will protect what intensity never could, and peace will remain your compass through changing seasons ahead. Should doubt revisit, meet it with remembrance, not argument. You have walked this far with intention. The path will keep opening as you do. Walk on, unhurried and honest, knowing grace accompanies every step you take from here forward with courage and steady hope. And now, there is nothing left to prove and nothing that needs to be concluded neatly. Some journeys are not meant to close with certainty, but with space. Space for reflection. Space for rest. Space for you to notice what quietly shifted while you were listening. An open ending honors the truth that growth continues long after the last word is spoken. You may walk away from this carrying only one sentence, one image, or one feeling you cannot quite name. That is enough. Truth does not always arrive as clarity. Sometimes it arrives as resonance. What touched you will stay. What did not is free to fall away without guilt or obligation. There is no pressure to hold everything, only what feels alive to you. If this message served you, even in a small way, you may choose to pass it along, the way one shares light at dusk, not urgently, not loudly, but thoughtfully. And if it did not meet you where you are, that is also allowed. You can simply keep what stirred your heart and release the rest. Wisdom knows how to take what it needs and leave what it doesn't. There is beauty in voluntary connection, in choosing rather than being compelled. Whether you share, reflect, or remain silent, each response is valid. Silence, too, can be an answer. Sometimes the most honest response is inward. Let this ending remain open, like a door left ajar. You are welcome to return, or not, to carry this forward, or simply let it rest. What matters is not what you do next, but that you move gently, honestly, and without forcing meaning where it has not yet formed. The road continues beyond this moment. Take from it what belongs to you. Leave the rest behind.